We're back with you here on tip-off for the 2021-2022 Red Hurricane Report for this week, the first couple of days of March 2022. Mr. Kelly, sir, the floor is yours. Please watch what you say.
Well, Coach Bellando doesn't like me making predictions, but I've already made my prediction. At the beginning of the year, before the ball was tipped off for the first time, I predicted that the Newcastle Red Hurricane would be the WPIAL champ, and we are in the game on Friday, and nothing's backing me off. We're 7-0 in championship games, and a lot of that has to do with the talent and the character of the young men that play for the Red Hurricane. It's not just their talent, it's their character. We talked about Isaiah Boyce, Michael Wells, Michael Graham. The moment is never too big for those young men. Jonathan Anderson, Kamari Perkins, Nicky Wallace. I had all of those guys. I've watched them since they were young men, and they're very poised. The bigger the moment, the better they get. And so whether Coach Bellando likes it or not, get the bus ready, get the fire trucks ready, because about 11:30, we'll be coming home from Pittsburgh with the WPIAL Championship trophy. Because I believe that not only do we have young men with character, we have a coaching staff led by Coach Bellando that prepares a team better than anybody. We will know what Laurel Highlands does offensively as well as they'll know it. And that pays big dividends. The game against Gateway, we tend to run in a man-to-man offense the first time down the court, the same play. It's a little cross screen for Michael Wells. And we run it against the zone, and we run it against the man-to-man. And we ran that play against Gateway, and it was wide open for a layup. And I told my wife, who was sitting beside me, because as you know, I wasn't at the game, I was watching it live stream, and those guys did a great job. Jimmy Dodson, LC Network Sports did a great job. But I told my wife, who's sitting beside me, this team isn't going to beat us. If they don't understand, we're going to run this cross screen the first game or the first play of the game. They haven't done their homework. And, that's what Coach Bellando does. That's what Jason Dunalak does. Billy Humphrey. That's what those guys do. Daniel Minahawk, who's not part of that staff. We'll have our team ready, and that gives us the edge. There's a reason we're 7-0 in WPIAL championship games. And again, it boils down to the character of the young men, the talent of the young men. It always starts with the players, and just the job that the coaching staff, the varsity coaching staff does to get those young men ready to play. And so, we're playing the best basketball of the year, Ronnie. Right now, we're playing it, and that's what good coaches do. I told my baseball team today, a season is a marathon, not a sprint. It matters most what you're doing in a basketball season in that last week in February, first week in March, and we're playing great basketball. We're shooting the ball well, and we're getting contributions from everybody. Michael Wells, leading scorer, 23 points, but I think Isaiah had 20 points in that game. Jonathan Anderson, who's been getting better game by game, had 13 in that game. And then you have the contributions of Kamari Perkins, DeJon Young, and Nicky Wallace, who one way or another play a major role in the outcome of those games, whether it be rebounding, whether it be defensive pressure. I always talk about Nicky Wallace. I think he's one of the most cerebral players I've ever coached. We run a play called Clarion, where it's a down screen and the guard from the wing, you've seen us run it, comes off the down screen and slashes to the bucket. If the defensive player overplays it, then our players are coached to go backdoor and make a baseline cut. And in a critical moment of that game against Gateway, Nicky Wallace read it. He read the defender, made the backdoor cut. Michael Wells throws a beautiful pass, and we score and shoot a layup. So those are game-winning plays, and that's what our players do. and they do it consistently, and they do it with confidence because the coaching staff has them ready. They do it with poise because they've been there before, and they do it with as much talent as anybody. And so it's going to be a good game. It's going to be tough. This team, Laurel Highlands, is fabulous, but I don't think they've ever met anybody like the Red Hurricane.
Larry, I got a question for you. You're gonna have to play along with me, okay? Last year, you had a really good baseball team. You had was it Shane Cato was your top pitcher?
Shane Cato was the player of the year at the WPIAL 2A. He was my best pitcher, and he was the shortstop on the team. He was the lead dog that determined the speed of our sled.
Okay, so Shane Cato takes the mound. Do you happen to walk up to the opposing batter and say, my man, I'm going to have my pitcher throw a two-seam fastball. It's going to be center cut. That's going to be our first pitch of the game. Did you ever do that? Because you're essentially saying to everybody out there, this is what we do on every play for Newcastle. Why would you do that? Why would you totally give out a strategy tip to anybody that might be watching? Do you think that's a good idea?
Listen, my man, if they don't know that by now, then they're in big trouble. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think anybody's watching this podcast in preparation for the game on Friday night. And listen, it doesn't matter. And let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Even if you know it's coming, the way we execute the play, the screen that's set, often by Kamari Perkins, or sometimes, by one of the guards on the offside. The screen that's set is perfect. The positioning that Michael Wells gets is perfect. The pass is perfect. The finish that Michael makes is perfect. You can't stop it, Ronnie. Doesn't matter. If you execute it right, you can tell them what's coming. And truth be told, Shane Cato threw a fastball to every first batter in the game, and they couldn't do anything with it. So there you go.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Larry, in preparation for the championship game, the Class 5A title tilt on Friday night?
It's going to be a great game, and get the fire trucks ready, my brother.
Okay.
When I became an attorney, I chose to stay here because my friends and neighbors needed a lawyer they can count on. I believe that if you're hurt on the job, you shouldn't have to go it alone, especially if your employer or the insurance company tries to bully you. You can count on me to get you the workers' compensation benefits that you deserve. Even if it gets rough, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stand my ground right here where I've always been. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.